Hey Manchester City fan, welcome to the channel, where you'll find the latest news about our beloved team. Before we get started, you know what to do, right? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates from City. Now, let's dive into the content. Today we've got some hot news for you, especially regarding the impact of injuries on the team and what that could mean for the future of Manchester City. Let's start by talking about one of the key players in our defense, Akanji. Unfortunately, new reports indicate that the Swiss center-back has suffered a serious injury, which presents a huge challenge for City and manager Pep Guardiola. The defender had already experienced a tough season in terms of injuries, something that has affected not only him but the entire defensive unit. And of course, this has impacted the consistency of City, who have already struggled defensively in the Premier League. Akanji's injury is a major blow for the team, as he hasn't been able to maintain a run of games. This issue has been recurring, with the defense being one of the weakest areas of the team. Guardiola has even pointed out that injuries in defense have been one of the main factors behind City's inconsistent performances, especially at the end of 2024. At times, the team was left without experienced center-backs, forcing the manager to call upon players from the academy. Now, with this new injury, the situation has become even more complicated. The latest news is that, during the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 match against Real Madrid, Akanji suffered a muscular injury in the first half and had to be substituted. City lost 3-2, and it is expected that the defender will be out for a few months, possibly for the rest of the season. His absence will leave a gap in defense, which could create an opportunity for new players to prove their worth. The recent signing of Abdad, for example, may have a greater chance to showcase his potential, especially at right back, a position that became a problem after Kyle Walker's departure to AC Milan. So, City fan, what do you think about Akanji's injury? Do you think the team has the depth needed to cope without him? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Now, shifting back to the Premier League, Manchester City is preparing for a crucial clash against Newcastle United. The match will take place at the Etihad Stadium, and a victory is vital for City, who are battling to secure a top-4 spot in the Premier League. Even after the loss to Real Madrid, the team must focus on the domestic competition, where every point counts. The last encounter between the two teams ended in a 1-1 draw, and City were lucky to escape with a point, as they didn't put in a great performance. However, Newcastle has shown signs of fragility away from home, losing 2 of their last 5 games on the road. Still, they are a dangerous team, with players like Alexander Isak, who is in excellent form, and the physical strength of the team, which could cause problems for City. Former player Jamie Carragher, for example, believes Newcastle could surprise and beat City 2-1. Guardiola, on the other hand, has a very good record against Eddie Howe, Newcastle's manager. He has faced Howe 15 times, winning 12 of those matches, drawing 2, and losing only once. That single loss came in the Carabao Cup, meaning Guardiola is unbeaten against Howe in the Premier League. Will Guardiola's record hold up? Or could Newcastle really surprise? What do you think? Leave your predictions for the match in the comments below. But the concerns don't stop there. Another piece of news that shook the club is Jack Grealish's situation. The midfielder was forced to leave early during the game against Real Madrid, and now there are doubts about his availability for the next Champions League match. Grealish, who had been in good form, was substituted in the first half after suffering a muscular injury. He has faced injury problems since joining Manchester City, raising concerns, especially as the club needs all its key players for the crucial part of the season. After the Real Madrid match, Grealish posted on social media saying he hopes the injury isn't serious, but the impact on the rest of the season remains uncertain, and with the importance of the Champions League, City may have to play without him, which is a significant loss. What do you think? Can City turn things around at the Bernabeu without Grealish? Leave your predictions for the second leg in the comments below. Now let's talk transfer news. Manchester City is eyeing a very promising player from Bayer Leverkusen, Florian Wirtz. The 21-year-old midfielder is considered one of Europe's top talents and has received plenty of praise for his performances, even in a season that hasn't been the best for him. With 15 goals and 12 assists in 34 games, Wirtz has caught the attention of top clubs, including Real Madrid and, of course, Manchester City. And it doesn't stop there, Manchester City fans. Now, returning to the state of our squad, Guardiola's constant struggle to manage injuries, particularly in defense, really highlights a crucial issue for the club's immediate future. The absence of Akanji is a significant challenge, but it's important to remember that the season is far from over. City has the advantage of a squad brimming with options. And despite the difficulties, Guardiola has shown his ability to adapt the pieces to meet the needs of the moment. Still, the question remains. Could Akanji's injury further expose the team's defensive fragility? And if that happens, who will step up to lead the defense alongside Ruben Dias and John Stones, especially when facing teams like Newcastle, who have dangerous forwards such as Isak? City will need to find quick solutions as the fixture list will tighten in the coming months, bringing with it more pressure. The inclusion of Abdad could be an attempt to address one of the biggest problems of the season, which is the right-back position. The departure of Kyle Walker, a player of great experience and quality, has created a difficult gap to fill. However, Abdad, who impressed during the January transfer window, might be the player City needs for this position. Only time will tell if he is ready for a challenge of such magnitude. Speaking of challenges, the match against Newcastle will not be easy, even with Guardiola's strong record against Eddie Howe. Despite struggles in away games, Newcastle has proven to be a dangerous team, with players who are physically well prepared and possess a sharp counter-attacking mentality. Guardiola will need to adjust his team to handle this, especially now that City can no longer afford another disappointing performance. The team needs to find a balance between capitalizing on its offensive qualities and, at the same time, addressing its defensive issues. As for Grealish, the situation is also delicate. Although he has been a key player for City on several occasions, his future in the team is still uncertain due to yet another injury. As previously mentioned, he was substituted early in the match against Real Madrid, and although he posted on social media hoping that the injury is not severe, the impact of his absence could be greater than expected. Grealish has shown flashes of his quality, but his time at City has been marked by ups and downs, mainly due to injuries. Now, City will need to adapt and likely turn to alternatives if Grealish is unavailable for the upcoming crucial match. What stands out, however, is the urgent need for reinforcements. With the season nearing its final stretch, Manchester City cannot afford to waste any more opportunities, whether in the Premier League or the Champions League. Therefore, movements in the transfer market become even more crucial. The pursuit of Florian Wirtz, for example, could be a strategic move to strengthen the midfield and bring more creativity to the team. Wirtz is young, talented, and has a promising future ahead. But will City be willing to pay the $125 million that Bayer Leverkusen is likely to demand if the player does not renew his contract? Of course, if City manages to secure the signing of Wirtz, he could become a key player in the fight for titles this season and beyond. But it is also important to remember that the club has other areas in need of attention, such as defense and attack, especially now that City has fewer options due to injuries to some key players. With the arrival of new players and the departure of others, Manchester City needs to prepare for an immediate future that is challenging but also full of opportunities. Guardiola and the board's focus should be on ensuring that, regardless of the difficulties the team is facing now, City can recover quickly and fight for the title on all fronts. And of course, Manchester City fans have every right to feel anxious and optimistic. The club is always striving to improve, and now is the perfect time to show that, despite the obstacles, City is still one of the biggest clubs in Europe. What do you think about all this, Manchester City fans? Will the team manage to handle the injuries and squad difficulties to return to being the dominant team in the Premier League and Europe? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to give that cheeky like and share the video with your fellow City fanatics. Now, to wrap up, the situation in the transfer market continues to be a hot topic of conversation. The potential arrival of Rodrigo from Real Madrid would be a significant boost for the attack. But could City close this deal? With an offer of up to $50 million on the table, Manchester United is also in the running for the player, which could make negotiations even harder. However, Manchester City has always been a club that knows how to handle such situations, and if they really want Rodrigo, they can do what it takes to secure his signing. The question is, would Rodrigo be the ideal player for Manchester City? What would he bring to the attack, and does he have the necessary quality to shine at the Etihad? Let us know in the comments if you think this would be a good move for City. Now, with the focus on the future of Manchester City, there are many questions about how the club will handle the pressures of such a challenging season. The transfer market will be crucial in determining whether City can turn around their fortunes in the current competitions. Injuries, defensive struggles, and uncertainties over the form of key players like Grealish and Akanji are issues that Pep Guardiola needs to resolve quickly, but the Spanish coach's ability to manage crises should not be underestimated. He has already proven to be a master at adjusting his team as needed, and despite the obstacles, there is still confidence that City can recover. However, we cannot ignore the pressure from the outside. Manchester City needs to give a solid response worthy of its greatness, and this means not only ensuring qualification for next season's Champions League, but also fighting for titles in every competition they are part of. The fans' expectations are sky high, and every match becomes more important, especially when the team is dealing with these challenges. Returning to the transfer question, aside from Wirtz, there are other names beginning to circulate behind the scenes at the Etihad. The January market may have brought some reinforcements, but the summer moves are always more impactful, and Manchester City, with their financial power, is always one of the most active clubs during that period. Signing a striker could be a priority, especially with the possibility of some players leaving, but Guardiola may have other cards up his sleeve, taking the opportunity to provide more offensive options for the team. Rodrigo from Real Madrid continues to be a hot name and is seen by many as a possible protagonist in City's attack. He has the versatility that Guardiola greatly values, being able to play in several attacking positions. His style of play, mixing speed, technique, and finishing ability, would be a great addition to the team. Of course, the fact that Manchester United is also interested in the player makes negotiations even more challenging. However, City's offer to give Rodrigo a starring role could be an important differentiator. The value of €50 million, although substantial, may not be enough to convince Real Madrid to release the player. Florentino Perez has a strong attachment to Rodrigo, which may make Madrid resist any offer that isn't irresistible. The situation is complicated, but if Manchester City truly wants Rodrigo, they will need to work together with the player and possibly offer conditions that make the transfer irresistible to the Spanish club. However, it is worth remembering that, in addition to signing new players, Manchester City also needs to focus on maintaining its solid core. Players like Erling Haaland, who is already a reference in attack, and Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best midfielders in the world, are indispensable for the team's success. Integrating promising young players like Abdad will also be crucial to ensuring that City continues to renew itself without losing its competitiveness. Preparation for the Champions League will be one of the biggest tests for Guardiola and his squad. Although the 3-2 defeat to Real Madrid was a hard blow, the competition is far from decided. City has the ability to turn the situation around and progress, but for that, they will need a solid and flawless performance in the return legs. The team's mentality, the players' physical condition, and Guardiola's strategy will be crucial for City to overcome the Spanish giant and move forward. In addition, the Premier League remains a big challenge. The hunt for the league lead has been relentless, and Manchester City will need to maintain consistency, which so far has been difficult to achieve due to injuries and the ups and downs of the season. The battle for the title is open, but City must ensure that their performance doesn't drop at crucial moments, as has happened in some recent matches. And what about the impact of Manchester City's supporters? As always, the support from the fans is crucial, especially in difficult times. The energy from the crowd at the Etihad and the passion of fans worldwide have been a source of motivation for the team. Now more than ever, the players need the unconditional support of the fans to move forward with confidence and determination. Finally, one of the big lessons we can take from this phase of the season is that football is unpredictable. Manchester City is in a position that requires resilience, strategy, and strong leadership to overcome the challenges. Success does not come without difficulties, and the lessons learned from defeats and setbacks are essential for the team to move forward, stronger and more focused than ever. Now, what do you, the Manchester City supporter, think will be the future of the club? Will the team overcome the difficulties and fight for all the titles until the end of the season? What do you expect from the transfer market movements? Leave your opinions in the comments below, as your opinion is very important to us. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like and share this video with other City fans. And of course, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the news and not miss any detail about our beloved Manchester City. Until the next video, and may City continue to shine.